Good morning. It's just after 5 a.m. here in Calgary, and we are doing a sun salutation, although it's not really a sun salutation because we're not going to do a forward bend. We're not going to go all the way to the floor on the flow part of this. We are going to stay in standing, and we're just going to flow left to right. So those of you who've got wrist and elbow and shoulder issues, this will be a great one because you're not going to actually utilize them with weight bearing. And those of you who really want to improve your hip mechanics to your pelvis and your spine and your legs, this will be great because we'll really get a chance to play around with that. All right? So to begin, just feel your feet on the floor, the center of your heels. And we're going to begin with some arm movement. All right? So from here, you're going to inhale, the arms are going to come up. Exhale, palms touch, and then arms come down. And then inhale, arms up, and then exhale, arms come down. Now find your own rhythm with this. We'll do 2 more. Okay, so now we're going to add some arms going wide. So the arms are going to come up. Let's pull the exhale down, and then inhale, hands are going to go wide, and then come back in, and let's go up. Now what you'll find maybe, we're going to come all the way down, and then back up, and we'll go wide on this next one. Now you'll probably notice that there's a little bit of a sensation at the end range, particularly if your fingers are up and your wrists are extended. So just get a feel of what makes the most sense in terms of range. So all the way down here. Let's go up. And then out. Last one. Good. All right, let's come up to the toes now. So we're now going to raise up on the toes, pull down. Good. Raise up on the toes, pull down, raise up on the toes, and pull down. Last one, raise up on the toes, good, and then pull down. Okay, perfect. So now we're going to turn, I'm going to turn and face this way at the top of my mat. So we're going to do a little bit of a lunge to a goddess to a lunge. So here's how it's going to go. Arms are going to come up, and then you're going to step back into goddess, and we're going to come down, and then we're going to come up, rotate into lunge, arms come up, maybe sink a little bit if that makes sense. Now watch how we're doing this. Coming back, rotate legs out, down, and then up. Good. Okay, now, as we come, we're rotating through these hip sockets, so pay attention to what you're actually moving, and you're not moving, you're not twisting through your back. Rotate in the leg bones, arms come down. Then you come up, rotate through those leg bones, whoop, and then move through yourself into, if you want to sink into it, and then up. Good. Rotate the leg bones, come down, and then up. Okay, one more, up. Good, and down, and up. There you go. Back, and then up. Good. And then come back to uttanasana. And then we're going to do it with your opposite leg. So just notice what it is that you're feeling. You're going to see my backside towards you. So we're going to take the opposite leg, other leg, and then come back, your goddess. Coming on up through the hips, knees and ankles, rotate through the hips, and then down, up, rotate and down. Feel through the hips, the knees, the ankles. Allow yourself to just breathe easy as you move. You don't need to go at the pace I'm going. You can go faster or slower. The key is just to be aware of your breathing and that it's connecting with how you're moving. Not in a forceful way. Good, one more. And then up. Nice. And then come into Tadasana. Lovely. Now notice what you feel through your feet, through your hips and your shoulders and your jaw. And then let's step back into high lunge. So crescent moon, some people call this. Let's take the arms to cactus and then bring them right up if you want. You can always leave them here in cactus or you can bring them up. Easy, easy breathing. Step the foot forward, so less of a stance. Hands to your hips, straighten through that front leg. Now the pelvis moves on those legs as we come into pyramid. And then come back, step back into your crescent lunge, arms up, or cowboy surrender or cactus. Think you've got a big ball of fire in your hands. Come up onto the one leg. Maybe you come into a full warrior three. I'm just doing a mini one to show you that you don't have to do a full one. And then gently step back. Good. Step forward a bit. Come back into Parsvottanasana. Good. And then step back into lunge. Come back into that warrior three, mini or full. Totally up to you. And then step back. And then into Tadasana. Good. Other leg. Come on back. Cowboy surrender, cactus arms. Maybe the arms come straight up. Step forward a little bit. Hands to your hips. Let's come into Parsvottanasana. Pelvis moving on the legs. And then come back into that crescent lunge, high lunge. Ball of fire between your hands, coming on up into your warrior three or mini version. And then back, stepping forward slightly and hinging forward. Really pay attention to the parts that are moving. Feel that it's your pelvis. If you can't be aware of it, if you're moving too fast, whoops, you're going to miss something, right? Woo! So feel and be aware of what's going on through your movement patterns. And then step forward and Parsvottanasana. Good. And then up and then standing. All right, now let's see what you feel. Let's step wide. Rotating these leg bones out. Good. And let's start to sink back to goddess. Good. Hands come to the outside of the thighs. Press the thighs into the hands. So the leg bones are moving backward. Good. And then come on up. Okay, let's rotate one leg bone out. Pelvis will likely angle out with it, but keep the pelvis level. So you'll see my shirt here. We don't want to see that happening. Yeah. So notice when you drop your foot that pelvis is level. Now let's come into a warrior two. You choose what happens with this back leg and how it's positioned for it to position your foot. Okay? And then let's take a side bend and coming back. So the movement here, you are side bending, but you'll notice my legs are not changing position, yeah? It's just my upper body. Okay, good. And then from here, we're going to just move through the hip. The sides are staying exactly as they are. Pubic bone and nose, these guys are staying connected. So there's no need to have to rotate or lengthen because you're already in the exact same position as you were right here. All right, let's come on out and then up. Rotate the leg bone. Let's come back to goddess. Hands pressing, or sorry, legs pressing into hands. And then coming up. Let's rotate yourself into your warrior two. Be aware of that pelvis, be aware of your legs. Really pay attention to its leg bone movement and pelvis. And then we're going to take a side bend. Legs are going to stay exactly where they are. So notice what's happening. Coming in, watch what's happening between my pubic bone and my nose. These guys are staying exactly as they are. It's the movement of the pelvis on the leg bones. Feel those 3 points on the bottom of your feet. You can get the arms into it if you'd like. And then come back. And then up. Good. And then rotate and sink. Hands to the outside of those thighs. And then on up. Good. And coming here. All right, let's sink a little bit into a chair. You can bring the arms up. Feel the 3 points in the bottom of your feet. And let's come up one more time. And let's do that again. Thinking about your hips, knees, and ankles. And then coming on up. All right, so now we're going to come into a little tree thing here. If you want, you can even take it to here. And then let's take it down. And then up to tree and back. And then over into tree. You can bring it up to here if you'd like. And then sit so that you're moving through the pelvis, leg bones and pelvis, knee and ankle. And then up and then down. Take a moment, feel your feet, and let's sink. And then up. All right, so now let's feel center of the heel, ball of the foot, base of the pinky toe. Feel through your shoulder girdle, through your abdomen. And let's come on down to the floor. Just rest with your feet and your back. Feel the 3 points at the bottom of your feet, the center of the heel, the ball of the foot, and the base of the pinky toe. Notice where those are at. Let's first start to take your legs wide in rotation, and you're going to come off of those 3 points and just feel the outside edges of your feet, and then come back up. So you're rotating the leg bones in the hip socket. The pelvis is staying quiet. You're coming onto the outside edges of your feet. You can take your hands to the front of your hip flexors, and as you're moving, let those hip flexors be quiet. Yes, you are in hip flexion, but the active movement now is rotation. So they don't actually have to be actively engaging right now. So just move in the range where they're soft. Good. Okay, now from here, keep your feet on the We're coming into bridge. So feel those 3 points. Have an awareness of those leg bones in the hip. Maybe place your hands at the gluteal fold where your bum meets your leg, and then lift from that gluteal fold. And then drop down. And then lift. So your ribs and pelvis are staying connected. You don't have to anchor your ribs into your belly. As you lift and you're driving the movement with your glutes, you'll likely begin to feel what's going on in your rib cage or not. But the glutes are driving the movement. You don't have to push your feet down. If that's your tendency, then go for it. But just know that you're pushing your feet down does not engage your glutes. You can simply just lift through your hip and really connect with those glutes. Okay, lovely. And then be here. Bring one knee to your belly. Let the hands come around the back, the top of the knee or onto the thigh. And then keeping the same knee bent, like that was a bad cue. Keeping the knee at the same angle, you're going to press the leg into your hands. So if your hand is on the thigh, it's going to look like this. The angle that's changing is your hip. If you're around your knee like this, it's just the same thing. The angle of the knee staying the same, it's the hip that's moved. Good. And then let that go. Other side. Press that knee into the hand or the thigh into the hand. The angle of the leg bone and the hip socket's what moves. Good. And then bring that. And then bring both legs in and let's circle those legs around. You're exhaling as the legs come in, inhaling as the legs come around. Exhaling as they come in, inhaling as they come around. And then other way. As the legs come in, is exhale. As they come away, it's inhale. Lovely. All right, let's do a little twist. Keep one leg up, opposite hand over, shoulder girdle, stays easy on the ground. And bring that leg over. And then easy breathing. And then coming on back. And let's go to the other side. Leg comes up. And over we go. Lovely. And then coming on back. Really, really nice. Legs come out straight. Easy breathing. And just notice what you feel. Now you might decide you want to do a little bit more, so go right ahead and do the next little bit more for your practice, whether it's going for a walk or doing more of a yoga or doing weights or whatever it is that you want to do. Or you can simply do what I'm going to do, and that's going to have some breakfast. You have a terrific day, and just know that these Monday practices will have some form of flow, whether they're an actual sun salutation or some modified version or something like I did today, which was the non-sun salutation, sun salutation. But you can find that every Monday with me now. All right, so you have a great day. We will see you tomorrow. Mwah. Take good care.